Hey there, boys and girls of the YouTube world. Today, the Duff Dog and I are going to be working on a Squarebody short bed. But before we get to that, we got another giveaway going on. This time, it's an OBS. That's right, we upgraded from the Whistle Pig, and we went from a Squarebody to an OBS. If you guys will recall from an earlier video, I just drove this thing home 1,500 miles from Bend, Oregon, flawlessly. Didn't have a single issue. The only thing was the cruise wasn't working, which we have since fixed. Anyway, if you want to own this thing's already LS swapped. It's got a 5-speed AR5 transmission swapped in. We're gonna throw some big 20-inch wheels. We're gonna throw some DJM suspension on it. We're gonna church it up even a little bit more, and we're giving this thing away. So head on over to mortskerepair.com for the details. Easiest way to get entered is to purchase some merch. You got ball caps, you've got flannels, we got t-shirts, we got sweatshirts, we got decals, we got super scrapers, we got magnetic screwdrivers, we got magnetic can koozies. We got it all. So head on over to mortskerepair.com to find out the details on how this OBS, regular cab, short bed, LS swap, 5-speed could be sitting in your driveway. Now that we got the giveaway announcement out of the way, we're gonna work on an 86 Chevrolet short bed. It's a regular cab, short bed, 2-wheel drive, Silverado. This thing is absolutely loaded up. Had it in the yard since last summer. Found a sweet deal on Marketplace. Ran up to Fargo, picked the thing up, got it home. It ran and drove. It had a few issues. So let's go ahead and go for a test drive in that thing. Then we'll drag it into the shop and see what we got. You wanna win this thing. I know you do, because this thing is freaking awesome. It is the cleanest OBS that I have ever owned. And it'll probably be the cleanest one that you've ever owned. So head on over to mortskerepair.com, get your chance to win this thing. Now let's head on out and check out this 86 short bed. Typical Squarebody door latch. Let's put a little petroleum in it. Go for a ride. It says it's on the right-hand tank, so we'll put a little fuel in that one. Hey, the fuel gauge works. Power windows. Oh, these things are, ooh. They need a little help. Power windows are actually a downfall on the old Squarebody. Here we go. 9,099.6 miles. So I'm guessing that's 109,000? I think it's 200, Duff. Let's see just how bad it drives. Got all the oil pressure. That is absolutely pegged. 90 pounds, so I'm guessing that doesn't work. Temp gauge hasn't come up yet. We got 14 volts, so she must be charging. Oh, what a terrible rear tint job. Here we go. How fast before it starts shaking? 15, 20. Mallards. Did you know it's the female, the hen, that makes that noise? 25. It's not really shaking, that I could tell. Be a good around town cruiser. A couple ripples in the hood. Somebody sat on it that was a bit over the weight capacity for the ridge on the hood, it appears. Oh yeah, that window's not happy. How does it go down the road? Straight? Oh, that's a bad whistle. Oh, that's the wing window. I can see it here. Oh yeah, wing window. So 40 mile an hour. Does ride rough. Oh. Does it need a notch in the rear? Is that what I'm feeling? If you lower them right, they ride just about as good as they did from the factory, or the same, but this thing is real stiff in the back for some reason. God dang it, I can't even talk, it's so hard. Anyway, we're at 55. And I feel a little vibration, but nothing too crazy. Anyway, I don't like spacers. I don't love these wheels anyway, and they're the wrong bolt pattern. And you guys know me, I got wheels, so I think we're gonna call it good. The wind noise is so terrible. And I really don't want one of these wheels to snap off on me in our test drive. And I think this Peterbilt behind me wants me to get out of the way. Duff's not impressed. Fuel gauge works, speedo works, voltmeter works, temp and oil pressure not working. And this one doesn't have the option of clock. It's missing that. Good grief, we gotta address that wing window for sure. the seals are out the window. Drives better than I thought it would. That guy must have a lot higher standards than I do. Anyway, let's head her back to the shop, throw her on the lift, take a look at it, and start fixing things. Made it back safely. Let's put this thing on the lift and take a look at the bottom side. What'd you do, Richard?
I broke it, my toy.
Do we need to call the FFA? FFA. You were in the FFA.
I was the president.
Yeah, the FAA. FAA.
Actually, they're the ones that
They mess it
into my phone and zipped it right into that telephone, that flagpole out there.
Oh yeah, we got no trees in North Dakota to fly into, but we put up a silly flagpole. And Chin took that thing down like the third tower. Attempted to. Maybe that's why you got that terroristic beard.
So we can't have nice things. It just wouldn't be able to see where we were going.
Well, I didn't even crash that thing. Glad he did it. You know, one cylinder head on her, huh? Getting the gasket scraper out, the super scraper. Get yours at mortske.com. You can see she's bored 60 over. No ring ridge. This thing is good. Nice and clean in the oil galleys. Now what are you doing?
Cleaning up this head.
Oh, easy work.
Easy work.
That's all we give you is easy work. Yeah, with the super scraper, it's easy, ain't it? Best scraper you ever had.
So far.
So far. Oh boy. Get yours at mortske.com. Ready to take a look at the bottom side of this thing? Oh boy. They hit something with these lower control arms real hard. Might want to try to straighten that out. I don't think it really matters, but it's a cosmetic. How do you even do that? This thing isn't even that low. Well, good job on that. Looks like they've been bump stopping a little bit. Those things are wasted. I didn't hear the springs going boing, 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 but you can tell that they've been heated up by the way that they are. It actually rides pretty good up front. So that's how they lowered it, was by heating the coils, which I'm more of a cutting the coil type of guy. But they definitely did not put drop spindles in it. Same thing on this side. That's pretty great how they did that. And terrible at the same time. But anyway, while we're in here, I think we're going to cut the bump stops off because we don't need those anymore. And clearly they've been schmacking. And that's the beauty of these C10s. You cut those off and you gain about 1.5 inches of travel. So your tech tip of the day. If you'll watch closely, it looks like we're going to need a new idler arm. That definitely shouldn't do that. Oh, looks like somebody's doing a little work on the frame rail up here with the steering box bolts on. Not the worst work I've ever seen, but something definitely took place. Makes me wonder if it's been in a collision or if the hardware got run loose or who knows what. But usually if the hardware gets run loose, it can crack out the frame rail, or if you're in an accident, it just bends the frame rail along one plane. It's kind of weird because it's cracked out around the hardware. So I'm guessing it was run loose at one point. But it looks like there's plenty of material there, and it looks like all the hardware's tight, so it should be fine. Something to look for, though, if you're ever looking at a C10. I've never seen that before. I don't think it's common. It is a power steering unit, which is pretty common on the 81 to 87s. Also looks like the washer for the hardware for the front body mount bolt across the radiator support is rusted off up here. That's not good. Oh, sure enough, same on the passenger side. Got a new fuel pump on her, though. They even use the factory 3-line setup for all the emissions. You're welcome, Greta. Looks like the rear main seal on the engine, or else the front seal on the transmission is a little weepy. Looks like a replacement starter that's pretty oily as well. Got the finest yellow Monroe shocks. Oh, it's such a bad job. At least if you're heating coils, heat from the bottom up. You know, get the bottom ones all smashed together before you go to the top one. Turbo 350, you can tell because it's a rectangular pan with a little corner cut off of it. I think the only other options for these things, for automatics anyway, would be the 700R4, which would be the overdrive version. I think you could get a turbo 400 in these. Otherwise, you get a 4-speed on the floor, a 3-speed on the column. Single exhaust. Looks like they did a little exhaust work here. Couldn't quite get her bent right, so we just slugged a piece in there and adapted it, but I've seen worse. Oh no, that's handy. I can see why they're using the tank on the other side. That's an earplug used as a fuel tank plug. Maybe we can fix that up a little bit better. At least run a self-tapper in there with a washer on it. Good grief. Glad I didn't put 18 gallons of fuel in there. How's the rest of the exhaust? Oh, it's got a dual outlet muffler. And that's what they do, is just... I like the hangers, the little number 9 wire. Attaboy, Quick Dick.
This is Quick Dick McDick reminding you, a man will never get tired of pulling on his number 9 wire.
Then they just drilled holes in the outlets and ran the number 9 wire up. Brilliant.
Brilliant!
At least it's not spraying directly onto the rear end. Speaking of the rear end, pinion seal, a little wet, super common. Looks like they failed to tighten up the hardware after the flip, so we're probably gonna wanna tighten that up. Looks like she's got a pretty decent flip kit in it. They do need the shock extensions, so we might wanna add those in there to keep the proper geometry. You can see, they got a little bit too much angle. And that's why the back road's so stiff. We're banging on the bump stop, so she needs a notch. Hey, at least they tighten up the hardware on the passenger side. Front hardware's tight though. And they even hooked the park brake cable back up. What a deal. Right here behind the rear wheels where they always rust out. It's starting to barely rust right there, but she's pretty solid. A little bit of bubbling, just barely starting on the driver's side. It looks like they got a little whammy action going on behind the rear tire, probably from blowing a tire on one of the sweet burnouts. Whammy! First things first, let's get these rear wheels and tires off of there and spacers and all that garbage. Cut the bump stops out, put a C-notch in the back end so this thing rides a little bit better. Goodbye Jeep wheels and 225 75 15s. Oh my, heavy. Wow. These off-road wheels for your Jeep are super heavy duty, which also means super heavy weight-wise. Stealing all the horse torques from the 305. Yay, spacers. Well, this is multi-function. Spacer and an adapter. Good news is we just doubled our lug nut collection. We may as well check these brakes out while we're here. Well, they exist, and they seem to be working, so I think we're just gonna call it good. I don't see any leaks. No axle seal action. A little bit of wear in the spider gears though. Nothing to worry about. When those fail, we'll put a 9-inch in it. A lot of material on the brake pads. Good enough for the girls we go with. Somebody got a little aggressive on the axle install and/or removal. Dang, beat her down real good. Just for S's and G's, let's check the end play. Yeah, that rear end's got some wear to it. It ain't worn out though. She's got a few miles left in it. I need to start doing a better job as a salesman. Be like, oh yeah, it's black on black, loaded, it's lowered, it's great, it's grand, instead of finding stuff like, hey, this rear end, it's worn out. Stuff like that, you know? I'm a pessimist. If you buy something from me, there's not gonna be any surprises at least. I'm not the type of guy to be like, oh yeah, this is a great deal. She's a 305 come alive. 305 come alive, what? Turbo 350, dual exhaust, new wheels, new tires. I'm the guy that's like, yeah, it's a 305, it's a turd, it's banged up, it's rusty, rear end's worn out, the exhaust sucks, needs a roll pan, is what it is. No surprises here. You get what you get. Let's take this shock loose so that is out of the way, and then start working on our C-notch. Let's make sure our wiring's out of the way so we don't cut those off, even though we don't have a taillight. Something else I noticed, the untrained eye might miss this, but I did, because I'm not trained and I'm not a professional, but I've done a lot of stupid things in my life and I've learned from it. And this is pretty stupid right here. This is a new one. This is a whole new level of square bodiness. Remember how I said those brake shoes are in really nice condition? They are. You notice how that's like a 2-inch wide shoe and the last 1/4 inch ain't even used? Yeah, that's right. The parts store guy sold this guy the wrong shoes and he didn't compare them and he just put them on anyway. So I'm guessing there's 2 different sizes of brake shoe. There's probably like a 2-inch and a 2.5, something like that. Anyway, about a 1/2 inch of this brake drum ain't even getting used. And I doubt it's because they put the wrong brake drums on. I'm guessing they got the wrong shoes. So that's gonna need to be addressed. They stop fine. Would anything have ever happened? No, probably not, but one more thing you gotta look out for. That's a new one. It's probably because when they went and got wiper blades, he told them that it was a manual transmission versus an automatic, and that's what happens when you get the wrong brake shoes. I know what led to this. When he went to the parts counter, he told him that it had a 350 instead of a 305 because he didn't want to lower his standards down to a 305. And so then they sold him the wrong brake shoes. but that would be backwards. You'd think a 350 would have bigger brakes than a 305. Anyway, somebody screwed up, and the installer should have caught that. Always put your brake shoes up to your old brake shoes to make sure that the brake shoes are the same. We'll just block off this brake line and we'll be able to do bigger burnouts with the 305. That's why these bad boys are so heavy. These are the Goodyear Endurances, featuring drywall technology for maximum load inflate to 80 PSI. Holy crap, these are a load rangey. These are a 10 ply. Well, that's why. For trailer service only. That's the first time I've seen trailer tires on a pickup. Does it matter? I don't know. Somebody's gonna comment down below. What do we got up front? We got some Hercules strong guards. Oh yeah, sure enough, for trailer service only. It's coming back to me. This guy had to leave his work at the trailer shop to come sell this to me over lunch. These are leftover tires from work. They're probably the wheels off of a trailer wheel too. They're not Jeep wheels, they're trailer wheels, which are basically the same thing. Hercules, Hercules.
Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
Sure enough, load range E. Face for radio over there. Let's see if at least we got 2 pairs of tires on here. Oh yeah, we got a Hercules over here as well. The old strong guard. Oh, but we don't have a Cooper over here. We got the Rainier ST for trailer service only. Classy. That's why I probably drove like crap, because I had a bunch of worn out trailer tires that people didn't even want on their trailers, and they put them on a pickup. But we did get a new wheel stud on the passenger side. Same deal, wrong brake shoes over here. The more you look, the worse it gets. I mean, this is a great deal. Come on down to the Mortske Motorplex. Buy yourself a short bed Chevy. Hey, pick up the chopped pickup too, because that one hasn't sold yet. Took our Amazon C-notch, made ourselves a template, found the center line of our axle, we got that all marked out. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this bump stop out of the way because it's kind of gonna get into our cut here. And then we'll cut that out of there. I got a tarp strap hooked up to our taillight harness, pulling that out of the way so we don't cut that up. Let's get to cutting. Now the fun part, drilling all these holes out. RIP Milwaukee here. I think the clutch burned out. Sweet. That's the second one we've killed doing C-notches. Good thing we used to have a spare drill, now we just have a drill. A few more on the bottom and we'll be wrapped up with this other than a bump stop. Just about done here. I gotta put on the finishing touch. See that little metal tab there? We're gonna cut that off flush. Same thing on the front. At a minimum, you want a radius though, so you don't slice your hand wide open when you graze up against them. Now that we got the C-notch in place, let's go ahead and correct the shock angle with some of these shock extensions from Max speeding rods. No, not a paid promotion. It was the cheapest ones I could find. And this one will be easy to do because the bolts never had a nut put on it. Oh, I'm sure that shock's in perfectly good condition. One more deal, these things are pretty basic. You take the existing bolt holes, you put a couple of short bolts to hold it there, you drill a hole through there, one to retain it so that it doesn't pivot on the existing bolt holes, and then you put your old hardware right through the bottom of the shock. Bada bing, bada boom, corrected geometry on the shock. Hey, let's tighten up this shackle hardware though over here. Now that we got the rear suspension tuned up, let's go ahead and move to the front. Let's get those spacers out of there, these terrible wheels, trailer tires, and those heated springs. Good news is the brake pads and the rotors are in good shape. Bad news is the pitman arm's shot as well. And of course, we don't keep those on hand. Let's split this upper ball joint. Try not to smash off any fingers. Ow! Try not to lose any teeth from the spring. Grab a new coil, cut 2 coils off of it, throw it back in there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We are up to your regular scheduled spring shenanigans for spring attire. That's right, head on over to mortske.com, get yourself a Floyd Cotterpin Hawaiian shirt. It's buttoned down, it's got a collar. It doesn't have pockets. But anyway, if you're into Corvettes, fanny packs, Asics shoes, cars and coffee, white letter tires, you need one of these. Hurry on down to mortske.com. They're going off the shelves real fast because we didn't buy enough of them. Duff, what do you think about these things? Pretty awesome, huh? Hopefully we don't step on Dalton at Pole Barn Garage's toes too much with the Hawaiian shirts. But anyway, new apparel. Go check it out, mortske.com. Now back to spring action. All right, split those ball joints. Make sure you leave the nut on there though when you do it. Otherwise, you might be missing some of your teeth like everybody in Oklahoma. Not everybody, just people. Here you can see another new used spring and the height difference that we got going on there. So what I like to do is just go ahead and cut 2 pigtails off of that. So if we do that, line up our tops, because that point's going to stay the same. 2 pigtails, same length. And then you don't get the bing bang boing. They did a pretty decent job of heating that up. Okay, kind of missed the spot there. You like that or what? You ever heat up a spring before? No, you're from the generation you put the air shocks in the back. Did your 56 Chevy have air shocks in the back?
No.
You didn't?
Traction bar.
Ooh. How'd you get it to sit up high then? You put the right springs in it?
Shackles.
Oh, shackles. Oh, you're above the coil spring. Did you ever put them twist-ins that you stuck in there and you turned it a quarter turn so that...
I have run across them.
Oh, you didn't put none in though, huh?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, the things people do. All right, I'm gonna shorten that thing up. Perfect, I think it's even shorter. Plus we got a little compression left right there, so she should sit just right. But before we can put that spring back in there, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this bump stop because we don't need that where we're going. There you have it, one bump stop delete. Spring is installed. Now let's grab ourselves a new shock because you need shorter shocks when you got shorter springs. I like these Beltec Nitro Drop 2s. It's part number 8005. We've done several sets of these. They work great. Right, Mojo? All right, see you tomorrow. Sweet, this bad boy is ready to rock with the Nitro Drop 2s. Not a paid promotion, but it does have the Beltec twin tube shock technology. Ball joints, we're not gonna need those. They already been replaced. You could tell because it's got bolts holding it in place, not rivets. Started on the other side, went to go take this hardware out. This is something you gotta watch for. This area, the frame's been welded up. This is a notorious spot for frames to crack out on these square bodies. Yeah, I'm sure that was fully functional. So, we'll get that taken apart and see what's going on there. Your shock shouldn't be like that though. And you can see it's been banging away on stuff. Needs a little body work on that shock body. Look at that, good as new. Thankfully, these Beltecs come with some new hardware, so got her all patched up. The other one was just loose. But that's definitely been cracked out and welded at some point in its life. All right, took this taillight out. This bedside is pretty whammied up, so let's give her the old Mortske body repair. Maybe get out the old English stump. Maybe we'll cut a bed corner out of a parts long bed we got out back. Who knows what's gonna happen, but anyway, we can't make it any worse, right? I think most of this will come right out, but it's these creases right here that's on the belt line that I'm worried about. So we're gonna cut out from just inside the tail light to just above this belt line. It's even damaged up in here. And then we pretty much gotta go all the way ahead to the wheel well. That's gonna be fun to try to remove, but we'll give her a whirl. Like I said, the only way we can make it worse is if there's no panel. So I'm gonna do a little marking, try to get some straight lines with some tape, and then we're gonna get the old cutoff wheel, and we're gonna do body things, cause yay, body work. You guys love to see it. If you want to see some other English stump body work, conveniently it was this same panel. Go check out, I think it was like an 83 Chevy 3/4 ton. We did pretty much the same thing. Cut it out, banged it out on a stump, put it back in there. Better than it was. There you go, that's what the inside of a square body bedside looks like. We had one little spot well we had to cut down here, and you can see that's why they rot out there, because they got this inner structure and dirt sits in there. It doesn't come out. Now will be a good opportunity for us to straighten said inner structure out before we put it back together. And you notice as we were cutting this out, as soon as we got that lip cut out of there, it sprung back into shape on the front side here. So all this stuff should be pretty straight. I cut out back here, I didn't want to, but there's a little dent back here, so I figured now would be a good time to fix that. So we cut it here, and then obviously around the perimeter, and a spot weld down there. All this stuff should be in good shape, so we got something to reference from. You notice that I cut here with a Sawzall, and that's because it's got a narrower blade and it was easier to get in there. I can't cut very straight with a Sawzall. I can't cut very straight at all, but you can see that was terribly not straight. So I like to cut them as straight as possible, except for you don't want to cut straight in the corner because it likes to burn through on the inside piece on the corners, but it is what it is. We're just hacks here. I'm all about learning. If you got something to add down in the comments, throw her in there. But my biggest thing is you just learn by doing it. So the more of this you do, the better you get at it. And the less money you have to spend at the body shop, unless you're super terrible at it, and then you just take it to them and spend all the money, because it'll be even more money if you screw it up. All right, let's drag the old English stump out and whack away. So if you haven't read The Art of Metal Bumping, you know that you want to start from the last part of the dent and then go to the first part of the dent. So what that means is, I'm guessing the impact was here, and then it slowly worked out to here, so I think we want to move this out first and then go to that. So basically, if you see how an accident happens, you rewind it, and that's how you are supposed to do metal shaping, I guess. Anyway, this is on that body line. It's screwed up, it's butchered, and that's what it's going to be, is butchery of us trying to straighten it out. I'm going to use the biggest hammer I own. Well, not quite. Well, that one doesn't even have a point on it. I think I got one of these that's got a wedge point on it. We're going to try using that to go along the body line because, I don't know, it's in real sad shape. And then we're going to use this guy in this area. This is, like I said, the easy part. And there's that little dent there. That's pretty easy, but this is going to be not so much fun. We're going to give it a whirl. Like I said, you can always cut one out of another pickup. Or we could maybe make a new body line by bending something out. You just learn by doing it. I'm gonna go find that big hammer. So if you're not familiar with the English stump, it's a stump. It's not from an English tree, it's from a stump tree. And then I just took a circular saw, plunged it in a circle a whole bunch of times, and then whittled that out. For what we're doing here, you really don't need that hole. You just use the flat part of the stump. This is gonna be crude. And as we start taking this out, hopefully this kind of goes back into shape on its own. All right, we've successfully, absolutely ruined this piece of metal, so let's keep at it. If we can get that oil can out of there, we might be making some progress. Hey, we're getting somewhere. That body line's pretty crude, but that was obviously going to be the worst part. Let's try to straighten out the bottom of this wrinkle down here. Now let's take out that little dent at the back side. We'd use an actual body hammer for that, but we won't. That came out pretty good. I just don't know how to get a clean, crisp body line back in there. Guess let's fit it up there, see how it looks. I can tell right now that this is bent too far over, so we'll just straighten that out before we go over there. Better than it was, right? I think so. Go ahead and mark where our body line is supposed to be, and we'll see if we can't maybe put a little bit more defined shape into it. Now I'm going to take our tape and align it with those marks, and that's where we need to put a body line in. Can we do that with a hammer? Somebody can. I don't know if I can. What if we just clamp it in the brake? See what happens. Theory, right? Bet you guys didn't know we got one of those Bailey electronic brake thingers. Well, we do, and I've never used it. Chin's used it like...
This will be the third time.
Third time. So now I'm guessing we need something to...
Yep.
So the neat part about this thing is it's magnetic, so anything can be a die that's magnetic. So this is where the bend is going to be. That's the seam.
Yep.
So line the tape up.
The pedal does the powers the magnet.
Probably help if our part was flat. It's way too far, but we can probably straighten it out. One fresh, crappy body line. That's way off. Oh well. At least it's a crisp in the wrong spot body line. You can see our high spots there. Well, it's better than it was. Thanks so much for your expert lessons and advice and all. You'll be the star of the show in no time. Huge shout out to Bailey for not sponsoring that brake. Just kidding. Super cool guys. But yeah, we bought that way before the YouTube. Actually, my dad did. He didn't have room for it, so I stole it. Also, I don't know if he ever used it. If we've used it 4 times now, that's probably twice as many times as him. Just a bit too far. We'll try straightening her out a couple times, see what happens.
Just a bit outside.
We can make that work better than it was. That's what we should create a body shop. Better than it was body shop. Well, I got the old body hammer on. I think I'm gonna knock a few of these out of there, see what happens. Probably just screwed up some more. We're just gonna stay away from our nice new body line, which is not ideal, but it's straight. That's about as good as we're gonna get. I'm gonna do a little prep work so we got something to weld to. Let's throw this thing back on there. All right, here's what we got. We got our copper spoon back behind there attached to our pry bar. So we're gonna get that popped out and get that gap filled up. But we got our body lines lined up, our tail light lines up pretty dang good. So let's start burning her in. This is the first time I've used, I don't know if these, what are they called? Panel clamps?
Yeah, something like that.
Big body shop guy.
Used them once. It worked okay.
If you're wondering what these things are, it's a screw and a wing nut, piece of square tubing with a notch in it, and then this little square, I don't know, plug. But anyway, that holds your gap. So it should be close to the thickness of our cutting tool, and then you just loosen that wing nut up, and this bad boy drops out of there, and you pull it out of there, in theory. I've never used them before. Harbor Freight, super cheap. And yeah, if it works, great. Giant pain in the butt to get them on though on this panel. There's the pry bar / Harbor Freight copper spooning device. Works good. All right, she's looking a whole heck of a lot better. Is there gonna need to be filler in there? Yes. Did I get it perfectly lined up? Not even close. Should we have TIG welded it? Absolutely. But good enough for the girls we go with. I'm actually pretty impressed. Maybe we'll throw a little foo-foo can on it. Or just leave it as a badge of honor. I still gotta weld this, and then the bottom of the fender, and then we either gotta push this in or pull that out to close that gap up, or throw a piece of filler in there. But I wanna make sure how the tail light fits before I do anything with that. This is gonna be where it's gotta go, but I don't know what we got going on here. But I think I bought this thing last year of college, so 2007 or so. I sold a Model A sedan, and I got $1,200 out of that car to buy my Miller 140 welder with a cart and a tank and a helmet and all that good stuff. After 18 years or so of service, the ground wire finally broke, so I got to crimp a new end on that bad boy. But anyway, this thing has been a really good welder. It'll do sheet metal really well if you do 023 wire. Usually I run 030, but you could burn, I mean, 1/4 3/8 pretty easy. She's a good unit, not a paid promotion. This is way before my YouTube days, but anyway, we got to fix that before I can finish welding it up, unfortunately. All right, let's get that patched up and do a little more welding. I think she looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. That deserves a celebratory sandwich. The good news is that's a low spot, so you can fill it. And if it was high, you'd have to knock it down. Way better than it was anyway. Hey, look at this, got the welder fixed. I got one of them fancy crimper tools from the old Harbor Freight. Works really good. And then I got some bronze eyelets, copper. I forgot to squeeze that shut. Let me do that quick. Good thing I got the Nip-X pocket crimper. There we go. Hopefully another 17 more years of service. By then maybe I'll be retired. Not have to do this stuff. Okay, next battle we gotta fight. Remember that gap there? Before I weld that shut, I wanted to make sure that the taillight socket fits in there. Guess what? It doesn't. So we're gonna bring that out with the old Morgan knocker. It's not the type of Morgan I want to deal with. Basically, it's a cheap, it's a slide hammer is what it is, with some different ends on it. Let me show you. So here's the setup. A chunk of threaded pipe, a big old slug of cast iron. You got the blood blister area right there. You're definitely gonna want to avoid that. It's got a little handle on the end. And it's got a bunch of different hook attachments. We got that hook, we got the baby hooker, the angry aggressive hooker, the long in the tooth hooker, the screw in hooker, the 2-hole hooker. This is the surprise hooker, and this is the dominatrix hooker. So we're gonna slip our hooker in the tailpipe, do a couple of those. Keep your mitts away from the blood blister area. You don't want a blood blister area from your hooker. Too much slamming with a hooker, that'll do it. Do the old reach around with our hooker. We'll do the old rub and tug. Oh, it came right on. Maybe we want the more aggressive hooker. This one's got the reach around going for it. So test fit here. So there's 4 screws that hold the taillight cover onto the bucket and 4 screws that hold the bucket onto the pickup. So that's what we're trying to get lined up, is the bucket screws of the pickup. Look at that. And we're basing it off these two. We know that that area didn't move, so those two should be good. We want to get these two lined up. That one's going in. I think we're golden. Just kidding. Oh, there she went. Good as new. This pickup should have the stainless trimmer on the taillight, but I'm poor and this is all I could find in my collection. Let's try to get this fit up. It's sitting pretty proud. Proud? Is that what the word is? It sticks too far out. How can we fix that? Just push it in. There we go. And I think with the stainless, that'll cover a little bit more, but let's try to push it in a bit. No doubt this is what they do on all those Barrett Johnson cars. Let's be honest, that's good enough for the girls we go with. I'm gonna knock this lip in back here just a bit. There you go, kids. I think that's good enough for the girls we go with. I gotta take it back apart, pop our sockets into our socket, put the lens on, and definitely don't check that they work, because why would you do that? We interrupt your regular scheduled shenanigans for a shop update. You guys are gonna notice some differences around here. So let me show you what we got going on. Mojo hasn't shown up yet today, it's early. Check this out. He's got the 400 all back together. We put a new timing chain in it and a new oil pump, checked everything over. We also got a new harmonic balancer to install because that thing was a little bent out of shape. Gotta drop the distributor back in. DB painted it, failed to tape off the dipstick and paint that black and tape off our Baldwin filter, but fuel pump's gotta go back on. This thing's ready to go. Got the oil pump primed. We should be able to stick that back in the 71 Ford F100. Oh no, got a sag in the paint. But anyway, oil leaks should be fixed. He said the front and rear mains were absolutely terrible shape, so that should fix that. Still have not got rid of the 403 Oldsmobile. 1,500 bucks. I think we're just gonna throw that on the shelf and we'll save it for ourselves, because I'm not gonna take any less than that. You see old Bernie's still here on the lift, and guess what? We got some new wheel cylinders. New brake shoes, new wheel cylinders both side, and a brake hose. So brakes are gonna be pretty much all new on the back of this bad boy. Chin showed you in the last update that we patched up the toolbox here. Mojo lubed up the block and tackle that we've never used. Maybe we will use it. But anyway, that's all looking good. Hopefully we can get those brake parts together today and get this thing back in action. More so get our lift back so that we can put the orange Ford on here so that we can put the engine back in that. Also, we got some wheels and tires here for, you know, maybe a giveaway and some lowering suspension. So stay tuned for that. But Duff and I are gonna go for a little ride, aren't we, Duffers? Got the old 67 out. This thing is seriously probably one of the goodest things in the yard. Even more gooder than the overdrive TBI shortbed or maybe the LS swapped 5-speed shortbed OBS. What are we doing, Duff? We're gonna go to Soggy Paws. We're gonna get you a haircut. We're gonna get you a trim and a bath because you was a dirty dog and it's getting warm out. So anyway, yeah, we drive our junk. It's cool out. We still drive it. Holes in the floor. Still drive it. No radio. Still drive it. Holes in the bed floor. Still drive it. But Duff loves it. All right, so that's the update. Duff is gonna go get trimmed up and be so pretty. And I didn't want you guys to jump me mid-video, be like, what happened to Duff? Did he lose weight? Plastic surgery? Is that even Duff? No, we're taking him to Soggy Paws. 3-speed live. Bob. have made him take you over there. Duff, we're late because you wouldn't get ready this morning. Pet Resort and Day Spa. Woo, fancy. Ah, well, right next door is Dakota Dirt. North Dakota's probably most infamous coffee, so I had to go get myself a iced caramel macchiato and check out the old Day Cab 7.3 parked next door. Hot rod, chicken chasers, tinted windows, fancy wheels. It's no 6.7, but anyway, back to work. We can work faster now with some Dakota Dirt in us. Not a paid promotion. One more quick stop at Bobcat to pick up a 2019 F-150. We're gonna do an oil change on this bad boy. I guess it's got like a 3.3 liter V6 or something. Look at that fancy interior. All of the colors. 53,000. I don't think I've ever owned anything with that few miles. What? It's got an actual key? Pew! All the other company cars are push to starts. Like a champ. Sure enough, oil change required. So in case you weren't aware, we do oil changes on some Bobcat company vehicles in order to keep the lights on around the shop, because we don't want to lose the shop. So hopefully we can get the oil changed on this thing and then run her back to town. And Duff will be ready in an hour, they said. So we're like Jiffy Lube. We'll get her turned around in an hour. Yeah, we'll take the money we made off this oil change and dump it right back into Duff's high maintenance spa day that he has. All right, back at it. Oh yeah, and my expensive coffee addiction. That caramel macchiato from Dakota Dirt was top notch. It was only $6 though. And plus we filmed it, so it's a tax write-off, right? Hopefully. Well, it turns out I don't have a filter for a V6 non-eco boost, and somebody called from town, needs a jump start, and I gotta go pick up Duff from Soggy Paw, so we're not gonna get anything done today. And this is why it takes us a week to make a video, because we gotta run a business and take care of our dog and take care of the damsels in distress in town. Old DB took this thing to the prom. I didn't even get a picture of him by it. He got sick, I guess, so he didn't get to attend, but he's got this thing freaking spotless in here. Oh, that must have been the flower from her crochet. Better it's some medicinal purpose flowers. Let's hope this thing starts. Also, it's sprinkling. Oh, you gotta love the old TBI. All right, let's go see if we can't get an 08 Chevy Uplander to start. Hey, check the link in the video description for the JNC 660 Jump and Carry. Not a paid promotion. We do get a small kickback if you use our Amazon link, but these things are freaking awesome. They're big and they're bulky, and I think they're like 150, 200 bucks. Well worth it. I like the big bulky ones because they work and you don't lose them. They don't, like, they got these small ones that are nice, you know, you can throw in the glove box, but then you forget which glove box you put them in, or you borrow it to somebody, or whatever. These big bulky ones, the chances of them disappearing are significantly decreased. Although we used to have 3 of them, and now there seems to only be 2 in the shop. 3 at 24, that battery's a year old. There you go. Yep. Don't worry about it. It's your lucky Monday. It's all uphill from here, but yeah, you're probably gonna want to get that checked out or get a new battery, or I don't know, maybe the lights got left on, but something caused it to drain. All right, let's go get Duff. Dead battery, new battery, 3 at 24. So what's that? It's 4 of 25, so 13 months old. Yeah, it did look like a pretty new battery, but anyway. That thing was packed completely full of trash, and she gave me the complete wrong address. I was all the way across town, which is only 8 blocks in her ginormous city. But anyway, did it for free, other than my blood pressure through the roof trying to figure out where she lived. So, oh, that was her daughter's apartment. She didn't live there. Anyway, her cat can go to the vet now. So did our good deed. Back at her. Oh, Rin Tin Tin's waiting by the fence with his ball. He wants to play fetch. Freaking Duff took off running here. There he is. Come here, pretty boy. Show off your new cut. So, show us how fast you can run. Oh, he's a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy. Let's go get an oil filter. and go back to the shop and finally get some work done today. Good grief. Gosh, he looked good, Duff. He's a pretty boy. I love when you get his haircut and you can see his freckles. Can't see those when your hair is long, can we? Do you feel good? Do you feel fast? Do you feel clean? Yeah? No comment? All right. Sounds good. Sorry about that booster pack laying there. I'll throw that on the floor so you don't have to sit on it. We got our Wix 57502 from Lee over at Lee's Service. Then we can go back to the shop, Duff. Got a freaking traffic jam here in Main Street in Milner. Everybody's doing U-turns, us included. You got any more stops you got to make, bougie dog? You good? Okay. Since we were doing body work last, let's keep doing body work. There's a pretty good crease in this passenger fender. I don't think we're gonna get it all out of there. And this fender's definitely been replaced. You can see how much glossier it is than the other panels, which is unfortunate. And even that crease comes all the way down into here. This part we could probably get out, but little crease there and a little crease there. And I don't think we can get that out. And you can tell by those clean spots that somebody's been in there trying to pop that dent out. They also bent that lip up a little bit on the inner structure, so they were trying pretty hard. But we can't make it any worse than it is, really? Or maybe, but anyway, fenders, there was a pair of black ones for 75 bucks on the Facebook, but they were 4.5 hours away, so 9 hours round trip. We're just gonna try to pop this out. I don't really care about it because you can just buy a new fender if we ever get to that point. Not much point in getting too crazy with this. Whereas a whole bedside, that's big bucks and a lot of work. So let's see what we can do to massage this out of there. I bet somebody was really disappointed when they bent up their new fender. Let's slide this 2x4 in there so we're not prying directly on the metal, so we don't mar it up with our metal on metal action. And then we got Robert, who's Bob's smaller version. I like this bad boy because it's adjustable and indexable. I'll definitely not remember to put the link in the video description, but this is made by Gear Inch. It's part number 82220. These things are good. I like Bob, the bigger version, but Robert's all right too. Better in these tight spots. Board where it needs to be. Bar where it needs to be. All right, let's see what happens. She might be too far gone. It's just creased so hard right on the body lines, and there's no coming back from that. And I can only work in there right in this hole up here, and there's a little tiny hole up here. There's nothing on the back side of the hood hinge to get access from the back side. I got the board wedged between the exterior of the fender and the inner fender. See if we can't knock it into place and if we can't get it to come back into shape. We're gonna use Robert. Let's see what happens. How about we pry it up and into the top of the fender where that crease is, see what happens. Looks like the dent's stronger than the inner fender. Not doing much, is it, Duff? What if we put the board up in there and then pry out on the fender, see what happens. Are we carpentry guys or are we body guys? We never know. All right, we got the 2x4 wedged up into the top. I got the 1x4 underneath it, and then we're gonna wedge Robert in there against the inner fender and the outer fender with the 1x4 in between the outer fender. Try to pry it out. What's it doing? Nothing. All right, we tried. Did it make it any better? I don't think so. We could cut it apart like we did on the quarter panel back there, but like I said, it's really not worth it. Just bolt on a new fender, paint it the right color, carry on with their lives. But We tried. But what I did notice when we're down here is this bad boy has got a good wrench 350 in it. It's got the 350C, which has got the torque converter lockup option, and that's what this little vacuum hose and solenoid is up here on the firewall. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but this bad boy's got an Edelbrock aluminum intake on her as well. And of course, since it's an 86, it's got the combination serpentine slash V-belt combination of pulleys. We went up to regular scheduled shenanigans. Did you know that we're giving away an LS swapped OBS? Yeah, that's right. I'm in the process of lowering this thing down on the ground with some DJM suspension components. Then we're gonna put some US Mag 20-inch wheels on it. But not only are we giving this pickup away, some lucky individual places an order this week. The date's listed below. I believe it's the 21st through the 28th. I'm gonna throw in this bad boy. We're gonna put my Herbie Hancock on it. This is a chunk of the Silverado badge that was on the fender of this 1986. So yeah, head on over to mortske.com, get entered to win this thing. For every $1 you spend gets you a chance to win this 1998 Chevrolet regular cab, short bed, lowered, LS swapped OBS. So hurry on over there. You might win this thing as well. So really double down. All right, back to your regular scheduled shenanigans. Let me show you what we got for wheels and tires next. We got no assistance, we had to wheel it to ourselves. This is a 255 70-15 rear tire. I don't know what brand it is. It's a hand coupe. No, it's a Capricorn HP. That's high performance. We're running Hancocks on the front, I know, in a 215 75 version. So 215 millimeters wide, 75% as tall as they are wide. Again, on a 15-inch rim. These rims are a rally style rim with a car rally style. And this, no beauty ring stuff. They're a dual bolt pattern. They're a 5-on-5 bolt pattern, a 5-on-5.5. I picked them up because they were super cheap, and I thought they were a 4.5 bolt pattern, 4 3/4, so you could put them on cars like Camaros. But they're 5-on-5 and 5-on-5.5, so they fit two-wheel drive Chevy pickups, big Chevy cars, and Ford pickups. So, am I going to put Chevy rallies on a Ford pickup? No. I'm going to put them on a Chevy pickup. Let's get them on there. They're way better than the trailer wheels with trailer tires and adapters. Let's get these installed, you handsome boy. Who's a handsome boy? Duff, you look good. You look better than this pickup. It don't look too bad. I really wish I had an OEM grill and a headlight surround, but I don't. Better than it did. These are 7s. I feel like these pickups need 8s and 255s on the front and 275/60s on the rear. It's better than it was. Duff wants to go for a ride. We got the old wheels and tires loaded up. We'll go stash those in away in her stash. Yeah, she looks pretty good, huh, Duff? No, we got stuff we got to do. So let's go do that, and then we'll go for an RID. Come on. So if you watched a couple videos ago, I think it was a 67 Chevy pickup, I picked up a 2010 Ford F-150. This thing right here. 200 bucks. It's going to 7th Avenue Auto Salvage, and they're gonna part it out. Yeah, go check it out, I guess, if you want to. Tranny's bad. So I paid 200 bucks. They said, we'll give you 1,000 bucks for it. And I need a transmission there for something else. I need a 4L60E two-wheel drive. And they happen to acquire one from Hopewell's, another salvage yard. So they got it there. So we're gonna make a swap-aroo, put a little cash in my pocket. And I gotta go to the dentist tomorrow to keep my pearly whites. Pearly whitish. So that's in the big city. So we might as well throw that thing on the rollback here, and we'll go to the big city and get rid of that and get a transmission. And maybe do some other errand running, because there's nothing like running errands in a 3500 HD straight axle with 19.5s and 14 plies and a big block in Fargo. So yeah, make sure we got some gas. Let's do this. Scratch that, battery's dead. Wonder what's going on there. We just can't have anything nice. That doesn't give you a warm, fuzzy feeling. Well, I guess we'll boost this thing and see what happens. Made it to the big city of Fargo. Thankfully, there's a church right next to my dentist, and on Tuesday morning, there's not a whole lot of people parked at the old Lutheran church, so we got all the parking here. Stopped and got fuel because I'm early. Yeah, got like 5.4 miles a gallon. killing it. All right, wish me luck with my teeth. Got my teeth all clean. Let's double check our straps here so that we don't get pulled over for failure to secure a load. Looks like we're good to go. No flat tires. Let's get this heap of Ford off of our rollback. All right, off to 7th Avenue. All right, here we are, big 7th Avenue auto salvage. Gonna get rid of a Ford. All right, there she be. If you need some 2010 F-150 parts, hit up 7th Avenue Auto Salvage in Fargo. Let's go see what kind of other junk they got for us. I think we need a 4L60E two-wheel drive for a 97 Vortec pickup. And hopefully they got a 40R battery for a 07 Mercury Milan. And some cash for me. Whew. Fancy American Legion sign. Where's this dummy at? Oh, we gotta go to the shop and find him. There he is! The man, the myth, the legend. Big Bobsy. Where's my tranny? In the back. Oh, there it is. Wow, look at it. It's got the white numbers on it. You know it's good. I was gonna say, did they screw up the plug? No, they know better. They just cut her right off. Perfect. Hold on. Bumper bracket to hold the torque converter in. Don't mind if I do. Or is that an AC bracket? Swinging to Jail Beer is the best burger in Fargo. Not a paid promotion. Now we're gonna go look at some wheel/tire storage. Basically some 16-inch pallet racking, because I got a bunch of wheels and tires and we need a better way to organize them. So another 2-hour drive to get that stuff. Here we go. All right, we're leaving Verndale Tire in Verndale, Minnesota. Sounds like a redneck town, and I do believe it is. Anyway, we got $600 for the pallet racking. Narrow stuff so we can put tires on it. Hopefully we can get rims on it, but might be too wide. Place is for sale. They're clearing out. It's all used tires. No, not all. There is some new tires in there, but the sign up here says they got 4,000 tires. Maybe I made that up, but anyway. 2-hour drive home. Hopefully we can find some ice cream. I got a hankering. We made her to Wahpeton, to the Dairy Queen. Got myself a dipped strawberry cheesecake something blizzard. It's gonna be delicious. You guys know it. I'm a sucker for ice cream. All right, home stretch. Let's get home and do some actual work instead of driving around in a silly rollback all day hauling junk. You guys said Chin did a good job. Were you guys lying or not?
Yeah, fake news apparently.
Fake news. Ben at 406 Garage says, don't put the Chin behind in front of the camera again. Speaking of that, what do we get, a GoPro 10 black here as a warranty unit? Anyway, it's got a screen on the front. It's pretty neat until it goes black. Mojo's got this side all apart. The other side's all together. Chin's collecting all the dirt from the shop floor.
So
Give us-
back, I suppose, is covered.
Give us a twirl. Mojo's got his Sunday best on today. Duff's like, yeah, you don't look as good as me. Is that a plastic bag treat, you think? Anyway, look at this wheel cylinder. She's got a lot of DD Speed Shop intake gasket material in there. Ew. Oh, oh yeah. All right, Play-Doh. So it was due. So we're getting new shoes, new wheel cylinder, new wheel seals that just showed up today. 9864S. And we got a new brake hose. So we got to put that all together and bleed the brakes, huh? Yep. And then we get our lift back. And then we can work on this orange unnamed car that everybody keeps asking about.
We'll put a different orange vehicle on the lift instead.
Oh yeah. Did you just do a behind the back pass on that thing? Look at that. Are you a basketball player or what? What? You're just a jack of all trades. Oh, he just headbutts him right up. What was that all about? Just runs nose first. Next on the agenda, since we're doing so much bodywork this week, this really bothers me. It looks like, I don't know, it looks absolutely terrible. It's like a diaper full of Indian food.
Like a used diaper filled with Indian food. Oh!
Anyway, we're gonna address that. I personally like a nice chrome sport bumper, factory bumper. I like bumpers. But roll pans are only $79 delivered off of Amazonia, so let's go ahead and install one of those. Let me show you the first thing. This gap right here is about 66 7/8 inches. Amazonia roll pan, 67 1/8. It's a 1/4 inch too wide. I've never installed one of these before. It looks like you just screw it right to the bed floor, there, and there. Gives you some really terrible hardware. Also, we got the LED light for the license plate, you know, to keep it legal. So that was probably like another $3 option. See that? Don't fit. So what we could do here is we could take an 1/8 inch off either end, weld our ends back on, because you gotta keep that lip in there for structure. And I don't think we're gonna weld it to the pickup on that end, so you gotta have something in there. And you could cut it right down the middle, but then our bolts for our license plate are gonna be too narrow. And the bolts for our license plate light are gonna be too narrow. And the hole for our license plate light is gonna be too narrow. So because I'm not a hack like DD's Speed Shop, and I'm definitely not a perfectionist, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. GM 66 7/8. China 67 1/8. So we're gonna cut right down the middle here, and then we'll have to take about an 1/8 inch off of either side. So I might remark that, make it 2 cuts, and we'll narrow it up there. And then we're gonna come down here around the license plate light and go to the left and to the right. And then we're gonna come down here, and we're gonna go over here and down here. And the beauty of this is it'll be symmetrical, and we're gonna only have one visible seam. And it is a very, very narrow seam. We're gonna have a seam right here. That's all you'll see. This will be behind the bed and the tailgate. This will be up high that you don't see because it's gonna be horizontal with the horizon. Maybe that's why they call it horizon and horizontal. I don't know. And then this and this on both sides is gonna be hidden behind the license plate. So there you go. Work smarter, not harder. So I'm gonna retape that and put 2 marks for myself. And then once we get this cut out, we'll just set that off to the side for now. We're gonna have to do a lot more cutting and a lot more welding than we would normally have to do, but we're only gonna have that one little seam, and you don't want a whole bunch of exposed seams. Case in point. So here we go, my first roll pan install. Here's what we noticed why we couldn't get the tailgate off just by popping it off. We had to take some hardware out. So the pivot on this side should have a little notch on it. Kind of like that. So we gotta flip-flop those around because once we put a roll pan on, we can't get to those. So now's the time to switch it. But what I'm gonna do here is get the self-tappers, mount these halves of the roll pan to the bed, get everything all fit up, and then we'll burner together. And this is our critical dimension here. Obviously our gap that we're trying to fix, and then following this contour. The roll pan to tailgate is not critical because we can't really adjust that, because if we adjust that, then this contour is off. So this will give us a nice clean surface to screw it to. And if we screw it and don't weld it, when the next guy's like, Mortske, you're an idiot, I want a bumper on my pickup, because this thing's gonna be available, price and availability in the video description. They can just unscrew said roll pan, throw it right in the dumpster, and buy bumper brackets and a bumper. And last I checked, bumper brackets were like 50 bucks, and a bumper was 150 bucks. And then you gotta have the license plate bracket and the license plate light. So you'll have 300-ish bucks, and you gotta have bumper bolts. So yeah, about 5 times as much money as this was. Next debacle with China roll pan. China. If I line the bedside up with the roll pan on the left side, and I get my level, and push it up tight against the bed, I got about a 1-inch gap on the right-hand side here. It's tight against the back of the bed on the left-hand side. And that's because this formed area for the license plate light, it's the back of our bed. Great. I marked where our interference is. We're gonna take the zip cut and zip it there, and we're gonna peel that in. Not a big deal. It irritates me that we have to cut up a perfectly good bed to put this silly roll pan in, but there's no other way around it. I mean, you could space it out, or you could cut this out and move it out, but The way that this is formed, it would be a ton of work to try to get it back together. So we're just gonna cut it, peel it in. It'll be easy enough to peel back out if somebody puts a bumper back on it. And then you just weld her back shut. But anyway, annoyingness on our $79 roll pan. Would not recommend. Let's not cut through our taillight harness. Gonna clamp our 11Rs to it that way. Hopefully it kind of all bends it straight. Otherwise, if I just push on it with my hand, it's gonna be bent more on one side than the other. This should give us a nice uniform bend. And no such luck. Good grief. Wow. There we go, let's try that. Odds it fits. Yeah, look at that, it didn't even bend in the middle. Son of a biscuit. Gotta bend it a little bit more, but I think we can make that work. So much for a nice uniform bend. Well, that was a whole bunch of test fitting and a whole bunch of us figuring out how to use that TIG welder that I haven't used in 3 years and Chin's used twice in 3 years. So let's take a look. You got to do a little cleanup, but that's the beauty of the TIG. There's a lot less cleanup. Now we got this all bolted up. We used some nice self tappers to hold this on there. And if you really wanted to, you could drill these out and put like 1/4 inch Allen bolts and whiz nuts on the backside. Let's figure out how to hold it in place down there at the bottom so it ain't flapping in the wind. But next we'll fit that license plate and license plate light in there, get that all fit in there, and we'll take that in on the bench where it's a lot easier to TIG weld.
Yeah, getting comfortable in position is
Huge TIG welding.
big deal in TIG welding. And this is
And not dirty from your dirty old flap disc. Well, plus the flap disc is putting whatever, sandpaper in there. Not TIG welders, but we're trying. You know, we're gonna keep our $80 Amazon roll pan super nice. There you have it, she's all installed. Got a little practice with the old TIG welding, even painted her up. And the only spot in that place you'll be able to visually see is that little area right there. This is gonna be hidden. That you're gonna have to be laying on your back, and everything else here gets hidden behind the license plate. So that was why we went through all the work of doing it the way that we did. Still gotta find a way to attach it back here so that we get that angle right. Oh baby, we got marker lights and license plate light. It's a heck of a lot better than it did not that long ago. Sweet. There's nothing that irritates me more than guys who got really nice old pickups and they got no tailgate or some cheesy homemade tailgate or absolutely no roll pan or bumper. It's like, you gotta finish out the back end. Get a tailgate on your pickup, get a bumper, roll pan, something. Tie it all together. She looks pretty good. Can't tell that we just stuck her on there. Here's another thing I don't like about roll pans. There was no good way to tie this to this without making some crazy bracket or welding the two together. And I don't feel like making a bracket because, like I said, somebody's probably gonna take this thing off. Hopefully, they're gonna put a bumper on it, the next person. Could be you. And also, I don't like welding it to the bed sides. Everything's got a flex, and you're gonna crack out that weld anyway, so we're just gonna leave it right there. It seems pretty rigid. I mean, not really, but kinda. There's just nothing to tie it to, unfortunately. Comment down below with how you've got your roll pan attached. When I was turning the headlights on so we could test everything, I thought, we haven't looked through this thing. Look at all these goodies. We got a tire pressure gauge, a whole bunch of hardware. We got the bottle jack. That's not even the factory jack. That is an aftermarket blackjack 4-ton bottle jack. We got the chrome looking trim for the windshield rubber, the aluminum trim for the passenger door panel, the armrest for the passenger door. There's a headlight retainer / trim ring. Windshield seal. Nope, comes to a point. That is for the rear window. Front window has got radius edges. The back window has got corners. The top has radiuses. Ooh, somebody's underwear. We're just gonna leave that there. Looks like somebody cut a trim plate for a CD player. Kick panel, knife, handle for bottle jack, and green zip ties. Looks like it had a pretty sweet seat cover on it at one point that somebody cut off. What is in the old glove box? What we got here? Invoice 2225. Holy crap, 850 bucks. May 8th, 2007. What'd we get done? Gear oil, silicone, oil filter, oil seal, wheel bolt. Oh, it's got the wheel stud on the back. Lug nuts. Bearing seal kit axle. It's funny they put a bearing kit in this rear end because it seems like they need it. Pinion seal, spider kit. Why does the axle slide in and out so easy? A used axle for 130 bucks. An 8.5 yoke for 70 bucks. Hey, R&R rear brakes, rear brake shoe replacement. Nice work, Chad's Automotive Clinic on 302 East Villard in Dickinson. You put the wrong brake shoes on. Check rear end seals. 135 bucks to check seals. Silly. Both axles are worn, spider gears and pin damaged. Transmission leak. Replace transmission output seal, but there was a new one in here, so it's still weeping. Check timing. Cut the drums, 48 bucks. Well, if you cut the drums, why didn't you put the right freaking brake shoes in? Wheel seal, remove and replace, 96 bucks. Anyway, that's funny. The car doctors, they call themselves. Well, doctor, you put the wrong shoes in. Dave's frame and front end service. Ooh, I bet that was the welding on the front end. Jesus, this was $1,000 bucks. Holy buckets, 340 labor and 657 material. Oh, it's got new upper and lower ball joints. You know, I can read cursive, but I can't read this cursive. Anyway, $1,000 bucks to rebuild the front end. No date. Again, in Dickinson. Whole bunch of registrations from Dickinson. Looks like they moved from Dickinson to West Fargo in about 2016. Same owner, different address. Spare gasket for a fuel pump. Another tire gauge. Obsolete phone charger. Starter shims. Check this SPID sheet out. She's just loaded up. Printed in Canada, March 31st, 1986. Oh, it was built in Canada? Or at least this was printed in Canada anyway. Tinted glass, AC, fleet side, heavy duty rear spring, electronic speed control, comfort tilt steering. Oh, it had factory rallies, cargo lamp, solid paint, 235/75 15s. Oh yeah, 273 rear ratio, power brakes, 5-liter V8, aux fuel tank, power steering, heavy duty battery, electric tuned AM FM, Silverado package, the Super Saver package. I wonder what that is. So yeah, that's about the most full SPID sheet I've ever seen. Pretty loaded up. Needs overdrive and a 350. I'm gonna do our PVC on the door striker fix on the old Squarebody here. If you haven't done this on yours, I recommend you do it. I think this is 1/2-inch PVC. PEX works as well. You cut a sliver off as long as the striker, and then you put a little notch in it so it'll slide over it. And they latch so much better. No more square body door slamming. Look how many times this thing's been slammed. Pretty nice pickup, but busted out the inner door structure from slamming her too many times. All because they didn't know the Mortske PVC trick. All right, let's get this slammed on there and then go ahead and tear the rest of that seat cover out of there so it doesn't look like a, who knows what, look like a Fiesta inside. There you go, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Way better. All right, Mexican blank and delete time. For cheese and rice, I think the whole thing is here. We just peel her back up there. No. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, it's just a blanket that they threw over the seat. You see that all the time. But they put it underneath the seat brackets, and so when they bolted the seat down, they pinned this underneath. Classic. Guess we gotta pull the seat out to get a seat cover off. Make sure to head on over to mortske.com and get your Get Lit stream light. This is miserable. We're on the home stretch. Looks like we reenacted the Mexican-American War, but America came out on top thanks to the CT players. Score. Oh, Lucky Strike's empty. I don't know why I find so many knives. I thought I'd find more spoons. You ever get so far to a project and be like, yeah, I should have just left it alone? That's what this is. We're on the home stretch. We had to get hookers involved even. Yeah. Oh. For the life of me, I still am not sure how they did this. I should have just pulled the seat out to start, but I think they took the seat out, removed the tracks, wrapped the seat in this, and bolted the tracks back down, and the tracks are what was holding this. So I would have had to taken the seat out, pull the tracks off, put the tracks back on, pull the seat back in. But it still would have taken me less time than it took to wrestle this out, but we won. Oh, hey, the seat goes forward and back now. Weird. I think that was a big problem with how they did it. This seat cover was getting wedged in the tracks. Oh, yeah. Way better. I don't know. I just can't get excited about these rallies. Let's try churching them up with some beauty rings. Duff's over there getting his beauty sleep. He recommended trying beauty rings. Definitely did not clean these up before installing. Oh, that one ain't gonna fall off. Oh yeah, way better. I think this is the only thing I got with beauty rings on it. But 8-inch beauty rings on 10-inch wide wheels with dog dishes looks real good. The boys got the front one off. So yeah, Mojo's got her in there. I know we painted this thing the wrong Ford blue. It should be the dark blue and not Ford blue. So we screwed up. Anyway, we're just trying to fix some oil leaks. Not worried about paint. And this is why I don't paint anything. Anyway, let's snap a few more beauty rings on it, and I think this thing's pretty much as roadworthy as we're gonna get her. What do you think, Duff? He's ready for an RIDE. Man, that shuts so much nicer. I think the rallies look pretty decent on here. Yeah? Gonna be a little bit lower in the rear. I wish it had some more tire to it. I wish a lot of things. But yeah, she's got a good look to her. It's pretty hard to beat a black short bed. And this thing is about as solid as they come. If you really wanted to get crazy, put some cab corners in it. If I were to keep this thing, here's what I would do. Grill, it's gotta go. Put a factory grill in it. Find a black fender or paint a fender black, because that thing is terrible. I can live with the quarter panel. I would probably try to find a bedside to put on it. Let's be honest, that's what it needs. But you could maybe patch a piece off another bed, and if you got real crazy with the TIG welder, it'd look pretty decent. I mean, the bedside's not terrible. Roll pan isn't terrible, but if I was gonna keep it, I'd put a factory bumper on it and license plate bracket, all that good stuff, but that can be done. Needs a windshield, needs a dash pad. The heater core is apparently started to weep. There's a little spot on the floor. We should have known. It was low on transmission fluid, rear seal's leaking. It's low on coolant, heater core's leaking. I would definitely get rid of that purple tint. Probably retint the windows. I think it needs a 275/60 on the rear. You could fit so much tire under these things. Maybe a wheel and tire setup like the old Whistle Pig would look really good on here. Speaking of the Whistle Pig, we're doing another giveaway. That's right, this time it's gonna be a 1998 Chevrolet OBS, regular cab, short bed, already LS swap. It's got a 5.3 and an AR5 5-speed in it. Just drove that thing back from Oregon, put 1,550 miles on the way back. We got another 500 on at home. We're gonna lower that thing with some DJM suspension. We're gonna throw some 20-inch US mags and some fresh rubber on it. Then we're gonna do a bunch of little stuff that it needs. We're gonna put a dash in it. We're gonna get the cruise working. We're gonna get the AC working. This is the cleanest OBS I have and will ever probably own. So head on over to mortske.com, find out the details on how you can be the owner of a 1998 Chevrolet OBS that's been LS swapped and it has a 5-speed in it. If you can't drive a 5-speed, I'll probably buy it back from you, but just kidding, you'll figure it out. Automatic swap it, do whatever you gotta do. It shifts so good, it drives so good. Like I said, I just put a pile of miles on it and we're gonna make it even better. So head on over to mortske.com, get entered now because it's open today to win the White Lightning Whistle Pig. I don't know, I didn't get arrested, so we're into this one a lot cheaper than the last one. Anyway, we need a name for the white LS swapped OBS, so comment down below what we should call that thing. But head on over to mortske.com for your chance to win. Now back to the black pickup that we're not giving away. Price and availability in the video description. Yeah, windshield, dash pad, seat cover. Maybe get some fresh door panels, maybe ding these ones up a bit. I don't know. The headliner's still there, just needs to be glued up a bit. Maybe put a dome light cover on it. CD player's already in it. Put the right brake shoes on the back end. Get the AC working. Who knows, maybe it already works. We never even tried it, but definitely needs a heater core and an AC evaporator to just throw in that HVAC, clean her all out, and then she's all good as new. Then charge up the AC system or check it for leaks. And this thing would be sweet with some AC. See if the cruise is working. We should test the cruise. No test drive today. It is uber windy out. We got to run some errands yet today. So yeah, this thing's good. Oh yeah, it needs a seal on the window here in the wing window. That's pretty much a square body thing. It's pretty much an every old truck thing. Needs seals. This pickup needs a bunch of seals around the doors and it would be much better as well. But anyway, I think that's gonna be it for this episode of Mortske. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for watching. We got the giveaway going on, so go check out the details for that. If you guys want to make sure you're still subscribed, like, comment, all that good stuff. Kind of been taking it in the shorts lately on the old YouTube revenue. Maybe I should do a video on that. But anyway, I appreciate all of you guys. We wouldn't be able to do cool stuff like put motors in Fords and lower short beds and maybe even do some Mopar things without you guys. But anyway, if you want to go help out on Patreon, I would greatly appreciate that. Easiest thing to do is just like, comment, share, all that good stuff. But yeah, double check to make sure that you are subscribed. We've got a lot of people that say that they got unsubscribed, a lot of people that they're not getting their notifications they should. If you want to get notifications, I think it's the little bell you got to ding. Ding! If you want to come this weekend and see us at the Pate Swap Meet, come check us out. I'm going to be there. DB's going to be there. DDP's going to be there. Old Truck Guy's going to be there. Puddin's going to be there, allegedly. I don't know, he can't commit to anything. Charlie and Slick from OK Speed and Custom are gonna be there. There's gonna be a bunch of people there. So we're gonna have a booth, come check us out. I don't know what the number's at. It's not that big of a swap meet. Just walk around or we'll post it to the Instagram or something like that. But come check us out at Pate. We'll bring some merch down there. We're gonna bring down a whole bunch of parts because I need to get rid of some stuff and keep the lights on because we don't wanna be losing the shop. So speaking of losing the shop, somebody should buy this thing so we don't lose the shop. It's a really good start to a pickup and it's all the stuff that it needs is pretty much bolt on for the most part. So, oh yeah, needs an idler arm and a pitman arm. So it needs a lot of little things, but it doesn't need anything. Like you could drive this thing just the way that it is. Tailpipe, muffler, I'd probably put those on there. So a lot of little things, nickel and dime things, but it's stuff that's easy enough that you can do at home. You don't need any special lifts and TIG welders and metal fabrication tools, but this would be a great project. So if you want to get into a square body short bed two-wheel drive that's already lowered, I think you're going to find a hard time finding one better than this for the price we got listed at. We price them to sell. Although Ed, the chopped one, is sitting over here in the yard for $3,500 and nobody's came and bought it. So maybe I'm crazy. It's got $1,000 worth of wheels and tires on it. And the top is chopped and it's got a sunroof and it's pretty great. And it'd be a lot greater in your yard. So this one's going to be more money because I paid more money. And this thing's pretty dang good. And we made it even better. All right, on to the next one. Remember, it doesn't matter, get it done. As long as you're having fun. Duff says we'd be having a lot more fun if we were going for an RIDE. All right, interrupt your regular scheduled shenanigans to unload a small block and an automatic from a 72 Chevelle and a whole bunch of 4 3/4 rollers. certified operator now. Now you're gonna have to buy one. Easy, easy. Leave it to the scrap guy, be like, let me run it myself. Got it.
I like how you were so gentle with it, probably bring it up here, you just like, poof, poof.
Yeah, 0 F's given.
On the corner glass.
Oh no! Well, we're gonna have to drug test you. Izzy, the junkyard dog.
Spent all that time fixing that tab.
And taping the window back in it. That stick will definitely ride. What a deal, getting rid of an 07 Milan, 4x4 94 Chevy, 95, my bad, and a Grand Am GT, and some catalytic converters and radiators. Oh yeah, and they delivered a pickup. What a deal. Chin's checking her out. Easy girl, easy girl. It's nice, huh?
Looks pretty good, it'll.
Oh, it's got a white hood.
It's a good fix.
To go with our other white hoods.
Two of the white hoods there.
It's got the cheap bumper. Oh, it looks like it's been repainted. No, maybe not. Anyway, this baby's a tonner, terrible blue interior with rubber floor mat and roll-up windows, but she's got an NV 4500 and it's a two-wheeler, so we're getting all the clutch pedal stuff for the giveaway truck. Something tells me there's no catalytic converter on it anymore. It's also a transformer, apparently.
It's a robot in disguise. Does it have an engine?
I think so. I'm guessing it's 350. Ooh, big block maybe. No, 350. Scrap guys know better. Hey, saw you an engine for Harvey. Hydro boost even.
It's a 99.
99. Ooh, it's a late model.
It's a classic.
Yeah.